Welcome to the channel. Our today's subject of discussion is Pakistan Lost Industrial Giants. The background of nationalization of 1972 to 1976. Our initial policy rationale was it was aimed at equitable distribution of wealth, social justice, and eliminating monopoly. Key action to support this policy were nationalization of large-scale industry, that is steel and heavy machinery, and banking sector, and then insurance company. The economic outcome was decrease in efficiency and capital flight. That is, the results were decrease in efficiency, state bureaucracy, extremely poor management, and, of course, lower productivity, ultimately resulting in capital flight, as there were discouraged investment, wealth, and skill immigration. That was the result of this nationalization in 1972 to 1976. Coming to the rise and decline of the 22 family eras from 1947 to 1971. Pakistan led the industrial race through the industrial titans of Pakistan, and that is the 22 family eras from 1947 to 1971. The economic miracles from these of the Pakistan industrial golden age were rapid industrial growth, expansion of manufacturing, growth of banking sector, export-oriented textile industry, industrial estates established nationwide, and Pakistan viewed as a developing success story. The economic miracles from 1956 can be considered as rapid industrial growth, expansion of manufacturing, growth of banking sector in particular, export-oriented textile industry, interest establishment of industrial estates, and a developing success story. The GDP growth rate increased from almost 1.5 to 2.3, 3.6, 5.2, and ultimately 7.2%. By the late 1960s, Pakistan had one of the fastest economic growing economies in Asia. The what were and who were the 22 families? Their characteristics were they controlled major industries. 22 families dominated banking and finance. They owned large trading networks. They led manufacturing growth. They were connected through business partnerships. Who were those 22 families? The major groups were Habib, Daud, Adamji, Isfahani, Bhavani, Saigal, Ishat, Walika, Ittefaq, and Harun. The term 22 families became a symbol of concentrated economic power. The major business groups and their contributions can be described as follows. Habib Group, their key sector was banking and finance. RMG, Youth and Insurance, South Industry and Engineering, Ismahani Tea and Trade, Nishat Textile, Avani FMCG and Textile, Harun Consumer Products, Ittefaq Engineering, and Biko Industrial Machinery. These groups, they laid the foundation of Pakistan private sector economy. What were their industrial achievements and what they built? The industrial pioneers created a backbone of Pakistan's modern economy, especially in manufacturing sector. For example, textile and garments, engineering products, cement and chemicals, sugar and fertilizers, consumer goods. In banking and finance, strong banking groups, modern financial infrastructure, credit for industry and trade, international banking standards. Coming to trade and exports, their achievements, import and exports network, global trading connections, strong export earning, textiles, jute and leather, and engineering exports. In transport and logistics, road transport, heavy vehicles and machinery, bicycles and motorcycles, airline and aviation services. Economic development, industrial expansion, job creation, economic self-reliance, and strong foundation for national progress. They built infrastructure, they created jobs, they powered Pakistan progress. What they built, let us again review. In banking, Habib Bank, modern financial sector. Manufacturing like textiles, engineering products, and agriculture machinery. Transportation, airlines, trucks, automobiles, and bicycles. And trade, import-export networks, and international partnerships. The symbols of industrial progress, landmark success story were Habib Group in Pakistan banking sector, Dawood Group in heavy industry and engineering, Isfahani Group in tea and trade excellence, Habib Bank Plaza, Asia's tallest building, was built in 1962, and Nishat, famous for textile innovation, Bego industry for motorcycles, and manufacturing engineering. Itefaq Group for development and production of agriculture products. Symbol of industrial progress for Habib Bank Plaza, Asia's tallest building at that time. Symbol of financial modernization. Eco industries, producing bicycles and motorcycles, and engineering equipment like lathe and drill machines, etc., etc. South Group, famous for heavy industry and agriculture machinery. Lawrencepur woolen mills were famous in premium textile products. The turning points were there was growing criticism of economic concentrations. Economic growth was there, rapid industrialization, strong GDP growth, expansion of trade and exports, modern banking and finance, job creation, and urban development. The concern were rising inequality, wealth concentrated in few families, widening economic disparity, regional imbalances, limited opportunities for a majority, and public frustrations and discontentment. The practical debate begins. The 22 families became a symbol of economic power concentration and center of national debate. People demanded economic justice. So there were growing criticism of economic concentrations. Public concern were wealth concentrated among few families, income equality, regional disparities, limited distribution of economic benefits. The political debates were around the concept that the 22 families became a central issue in national politics. Then came industrial nationalization of 1972 to 1976, a fundamental policy shift from private hands to state ownership, nationalization of industries in Pakistan from 1972 to 1976. That is, from private hands to state ownerships. The first phase was 31 major units in key industries were nationalized. In 1973-74, banks, insurance, and shipping. Thereafter, in July 1976, cotton ginning and rice husking and flour mills were also nationalized. The nationalization were more or less 31 large industrial units taken over in the first wave and 10 categories of heavy industries. The positive were worker rights improved, public sector expansion was there, reduced elite monopoly. But the negative impact were decline in efficiency, capital flight, slower industrial growth, and bureaucratic issues. The objective, which was stated, of nationalization, which was a fundamental policy shift, that is, reduce concentration of wealth, increase state control, expand public ownership. Actions, banks were nationalized, industries nationalized, and insurance companies were also nationalized. The immediate effect was the change in ownership structure, increased government control, and business uncertainty. The consequences and legacy, that is the long term impact. The positive views were reduced concentration of economic power, expanded state role, and critical views were reduced private investment, decline in industrial competitiveness, loss of entrepreneur momentum, resulting in capital flight. Economists continue to debate the long term effects of nationalization even today. Key lessons from this episode are internationalization requires long term vision, strong institutions better, private enterprise drive innovation, inclusive, inclusive growth is essential. Economic policies have lasting consequences. The story of Pakistan industrial families, the entrepreneur and resilience was there, policy choices Thereafter, we had policy choices like nationalization of 1972 to 1976. The third important stretch of the history was from private enterprise to state control, and supposed to be back to growth. Keeping in view rebuilding Pakistan industrial future. The story of Pakistan industrial giants and families is not merely about wealth. It is a story of entrepreneurship, industrialization, policy choices, and economic direction of a nation. This we conclude our today's discussion on the subject of Pakistan industrial giants. Thank you for listening and thank you very much.